Good morning, Virgo ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Will's Cartomancy Tarot. What I'd like to do is to get you started with your Virgo singles reading, and this reading is valid until the end of next month here. Okay. If you're new to my channel, I certainly appreciate both your viewership as well as your subscriptions. Okay. Rest assured, Virgo, that this reading will not resonate for each and every one of you out there. But for those for whom this reading is meant, I certainly hope it offers you the valuable advice that you need to steer you forward in your pursuit for love. Okay? Today, I'd like to discuss three important areas. Okay? First, I'd like to discuss an old pattern or belief system that many of you seem to cling to, and perhaps this energy that I'm going to discuss here is going to give us an explanation for why many of you may haven't gotten into the relationship that your heart is seeking. Next, I'd like to go on and just express an energy within you that seems to lie a bit dormant, or an energy that maybe perhaps you have taken for granted or overlooked. And I'm going to show you how you might consider expressing this a bit more openly. And last, I'm going to just give you some actions that you might consider injected into your life, once again, to move you in the direction of finding this soulmate type connection that many of you are, in fact, seeking. Okay, so let's go on and get started here. I'm going to go on and just shuffle up a deck of cards here. Just 1 second. I'm going to shuffle up this deck here and just see what comes out here for you. So, Spirit, what message that would you like me to share here with Virgo singles here? Okay. What messages do you have here? All right. Let's see what we have. All right. So, looking at the bottom energy, you have both the gardener, okay, and you also have dating. All right. So let's start off with the gardener. All right. So with the gardener, that's all about really nurturing yourself, or nurturing that feminine aspect of yourself that really dwells within. So this card is asking you, okay, is asking you what aspect of your life need a bit more attention here. It seems that you have to give, um, particularly a romantic um, aspect of your situation needs a bit more attention here that I'm getting. And it seems here that just as the gardener does, some planting or planning might be required. And you have to also, with this card, have the willingness to put in some effort before you reap the full harvest, as you see here. So, planting, you need to plan a bit more carefully here that I'm getting. All right. And then you have dating. All right. So with dating here, this is suggesting to me that, many of you seem to rush into situations here. And this card is suggesting that there's going to be many chances for you or opportunities for you to date. But you might want to consider taking your time to really get to know this person here, because I feel with this card that many of you tend to rush into different romantic situations, so much so that it always tends to be a bit more unrequited, and you don't want that. So just take your time to really get to know one another, and try to stay as real as possible here. Okay, so those are your bottom energies. So I'm going to go on and just get right into your first card here with, you have reparenting yourself. All right, so with this first card, it represents an old pattern or a belief system that many of you are clinging to, and it's kind of blocking you or holding you back here. So it looks like a lot of you are still caught up on what may have happened to you in the past, particularly in your upbringing here. And you may have watched or seen, a lot of dysfunction, you know, along the way here. So it's time that you reparent yourself and unlearn those toxic, ways that you saw perhaps your parents, deal with romantic situations or just people in general, because this is not a good way and it has not been working for you. So it's time that you reparent yourself and get rid of those ideas, because while some of you may have entered in relationship, it didn't work, because again you're bringing in a lot of this pain, okay, when you're entering new relationships. All right. So let's look at something that within you, an energy that seems to have been diminished, or something perhaps that you've taken for granted or overlooked. All right. We have maturity here. And we all know, just by just looking at that card, what it actually possibly represents here. It certainly says here is that, you know, I think that many of you, you're mature and responsible enough to know that no one else can really make you happy. That's your responsibility with this card. And this card is saying that you already know this. So it's really time for you to really reflect and to really take a peek in the mirror to see what it is that you really want in the way of a relationship here. Okay? So let's look at some actions that you might consider taking, ladies and gentlemen, in order to also, you know, bring you that harmonious type relationship that you're seeking. Okay, we have the sacred woman here. All right. So with the sacred woman, this woman does not take any bullshit, ladies and gentlemen, and she's not someone who would like to be claimed like a piece of property here. So this card is telling you that it's time that you start valuing yourself. Know your worth. And if you want others to respect you, you're going to have to start standing up for yourself. And you're going to have to stop, you know, pretty much surrender all these self-sabotaging behaviors, that has really gotten in your way here, I'm kind of getting. All right. And then, I selected another card here you have as well, sexuality here. So I feel that also with just having that card here, you guys, many of you really need to stop using sex or your physical appearance, to attract lovers here, because again, it leads to an unrequited type situation. You got to get to know the person first. I can't stress it enough here. Okay, either you're after the physical or or um, anticipated pleasure that you're hoping to gain from someone, or people currently, I mean, always seek you for those things. You know, those things tend to fade here, even though it's nice to have someone that's physically attractive and give you good sex all the time. You can have that if you take your time to try to, get that here. All right. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to shuffle up another deck here. All right. Because what we're doing here, we're manifesting this lover here. So I'm going to shuffle up these cards to see what additional actions the spirit wants you to take in regards to this matter. So, spirit, what additional actions can Virgo take in order to manifest this loving, harmonious relationship that they are seeking here? What additional actions can they take? Okay. All right. It seems that many of you have been getting this card a lot. It's time that you forgive. You sometimes you just have to forgive and let go in order to get your blessings. And you may be blocking your blessing by holding on to resentments, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? Take inspired action. Again, take a more introspective look into your situation and really, figure out what it is that you want in a more in a relationship here. And if it's someone that you want to get to know, take your time in getting to know that person. Okay? It's time that you trust more in your intuition here. Talk less and feel more here, because when you're quiet and you're trusting the universe and in your intuition, you're always going to be guided accordingly, and you're going to be guided to things that are of great importance to you that will not lead you astray here. Okay? It's time that you consider working through your feelings here. You know, a lot of you have bottled up a lot of things, and you need to kind of address those feelings. And one of those things that we see here was your upbringing. It's time that you let those things go. And last but not least, with these cards, it's time that you go, wow, realize that it's time to stop worrying. It's time to be a bit more courageous. All right? And know that you are certainly worth it here. All right? So let's look at a few things too that you might want to surrender, okay, or let go. During this time period in question, I'm going to go on and shuffle up these cards here to see what additional things that the spirits want Virgo to surrender or let go. Okay. It's time that you surrender denial. I think that a lot of you are probably, seems that you have unrealistic expectations in your situation here. You have to learn to accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. Then you can really see things clearly and really make the best decision in terms of selecting partners here or potential a partner that you will want to be with. Okay? It's time that you surrender negative thinking here. You and only you have control over your thoughts. Okay? And understand that when negative thoughts tend to surface, what you can do is say thank you for sharing. Okay? And quickly refocus on more positive affirmations. All right? Surrender to the divine timing here, because many of you need to understand that divine timing might sometimes differ from your ego's timing, because I know that you guys have you want things and you want it now. But sometimes it just doesn't come that way. Okay, understand that if a goal isn't really manifesting fast enough, and of course many of you're seeking a partner here. Okay, you got to learn to be a bit more patient and really trust the universal flow of life here. All right. Again, surrender to trust. I can't stress it enough here. Trust yourself in whatever decisions that you're making for yourself, and don't be swayed, by other people's strong opinions about what you should do. All right. It's time that you really try to consider taking action and really be confident that you, in fact, have chosen the right path for you and only you. Okay? And last but not least, with these cards, it's time to surrender to creativity. Be a bit more spontaneous in your approach, okay? You know, let your imagination soar. Stay open to all types of creative ideas about how to pursue this new romantic partner, or to even, solve a problem that has been plaguing you. All right? So, in conclusion, today, Virgos, I just like to leave you with a message, which I consider is a message meant just for you from Spirit here. All right? I'm going to go on and just convey this message to you via a postcard here that I have. All right? I have it right here. And I'm going to read it as it is written. Okay? Dear you, there's a balance between activity and rest, ebb and flow. You can't have one without the other. If you are faced with an obstacle right now, the best course is surrender and non-resistance. Soon enough, you'll see how easy it is to flow around it. Now is one of those times when you must trust the river of your life. Go with the flow. In no time, you'll reach what you have your heart and hope set on. Just remember, Spirit will keep your head above water and will direct the currents. When it's time for a greater effort, you'll know exactly when you'll need to work those manifesting muscles. It can be challenging to master the flow cycles of your life, but as you develop your skills, affluence will be yours. Enjoy the flow and trust those currents, for we are right there with you. Our little umbrella drinks, smiling at your success. Love you so very much. So, Virgos, this is what I have for you. I certainly hope that this reading, once again, has offered you the advice needed to move you forward in the direction of establishing a harmonious type relationship. Be sure to like and share, subscribe if you've yet to subscribe, and if you need a more personal reading, certainly contact me at will.brown at watconsultinginc.net. Enjoy your day. Thanks a lot.